Last time we visited Rakahn, Melthezicus had relived nightmares of his past. Between the death of his king, the death of his family, he's been stricken with night terrors for years. He awoke in the middle of the eastern trenches, in the middle of a mission, and he succeeded in said mission. He blew up the Bugbear Forward operating base, and ended up taking them hostage. He returned back to Castle Huron to celebrate and drink his sorrows. He goes to bed the next night and relives another nightmare, only to awake in the middle of Northport City, in the middle of another mission. He succeeds, but has to stop one of his men from betraying his orders, as well as making fatal mistakes that might have gotten the entire force killed. As he enters the commanding tent for the Bugbear forces, he watches as a hooded man seems to give orders to these hobgoblins and bugbears, but the hooded man notices him, and in pointing Melthezicus and his forces out, flees the scene. Melthezicus has to fight the forces, and he does. However, in the middle of the fight, the bugbear bodyguard left by the hooded man kills the two hobgoblins before they can spill any secrets. Upon seeing this, Melthezicus, he's frightened, but he sticks through it, and he ends up killing the bugbear and sending his men forward to capture the hooded man. However, by the time you finally chase after those men, you see them lying on the ground, lifeless, and you see the hooded man floating away in a boat, disappearing into the day. We return as you watch this man sail away, and seeing that there's no chance of reaching him, you turn around and begin to check on your men. I would like for you to roll an Arcana check for me.
12.
So on a 12, you inspect your men more closely and realize this is necromancy. This is very powerful necromancy. You're starting to put together some small connections in your head, and you realize that this man must not be from this land. Would you like to confer with the other ranger that's with you?
Our men, they were killed. This is necromancy. Have you ever seen anything like it before?
I've seen necromancy before, but not this powerful. We have a couple new necromancers in our forces. One you might be well aware of, as he used to be one of your Royal Guardsmen friends, but I've never seen anything this powerful. And you look over to your men once more, and you see they look like they've been dead for weeks. Not just the few minutes that you left them to chase after the hooded man. This is information that is incredibly important to the war efforts, and you need to report this to your commanding officer.
Let's get out of here, gang.
Yeah. You and your ranger friend end up returning back to Castle Huron. You take, your own paths. He goes to the barracks to get cleaned up, and you, deciding that the information is more important, decide to go straight towards your commander. However, when you reach the room, his doors are closed. They're locked, and you see his secretary sitting out right next to you. Sorry, mate. He's a little busy at the moment. Lomrendragar, your commander, seems to be in a small meeting with someone. You have no idea who.
Did you see who he's in a meeting with? What do they look like?
I can't tell you, mate. It's classified. As far as I'm aware, you're not another commander, are you?
No, not yet at least. But I do have crucial information.
I'm sorry, mate. It's gonna have to wait.
Okay, I'll wait my turn. I'm just gonna sit right next to him and stare at him. This.
And you do so. You wait for 1 hour. You wait for 2 hours. You wait for 3. And his secretary looks at you and says, "Listen, mate, it's been 3 whole hours. I doubt he's getting out any soon. He's been in there. He's probably still talking to him. I suggest you leave."
I can guarantee you what I have to say is just as important as whoever's in there. Perhaps even more. I just came back from the war front myself. You would do the same thing if you saw what I had seen.
And as you say those words, the doors begin to open, as 4 men that you recognize as the current Council of War. The Council of War is a group of men that had taken over leadership of Castle Huron and the rest of Rakahn as the death of King Anatrig happened. Since then, the war began, and this temporary council of men never really left power. They're still in charge, and they are currently the governing body of the rest of your land. You see all 4 members: Clorgen Goronar, Shomred Zorkin, Thustin Yukshiros, and Telriar Tazire. You see as all 4 of those men walk out of the room silently, not saying a word. And behind them, you see Lumrendragar, your commanding officer. Melthezicus, what are you doing here?
I came to give you information on the war front from which I just returned.
Listen, son, he looks out the window. It's pitch black outside. You've waited for so long. The sun's gone down. It is night. It's a little too late for this. I'm sorry my meeting took so long, but I can't talk to you tonight. I need to go rest.
Sir,
I need food.
all due respect, I've been waiting out here, staring at this twerp for 3 hours before I was allowed an audience with someone who has fought and seen some force more powerful than anything I guarantee you've seen thus far. This cannot wait.
Look, Melthezicus, I know about the rumors about you. I've heard that you suffer from night terrors. I have a feeling you're imagining things and you're just tired.
Yeah. I'm not.
Listen, this is an order, son. Go to bed.
You're lost.
And as you walk away from your commanding officer's building, you see the same man you saw the night prior. A man that invited you for drinks at the tavern, at the keg. His name, you don't know, but he looks at you and says, "Hey there, friend. Trying to get another drink?"
Hell no.
You
Going
say
to
that
bed.
as
Daddy said so. It's an order.
disappointingly he says, "All right, man. I'll see you tomorrow then." And he walks away towards the tavern as you begin to make your way back to your home. You imagined if your commanding officer won't listen to you, maybe you need to skip him and go straight to the top. You saw the War Council leaving his office. Maybe you should just go straight to them.
Yeah, let's do that. Do I know where they went? Yeah.
You know where they will be in the morning. However, it's near midnight. You need to get some sleep.
Valid.
And you return to your room, your studio apartment type building, and you fall asleep restlessly but dreamlessly as you awake the next morning fully rested. In the morning, you figure the War Council is probably going to be in the throne room as they normally are. That is where the governing body of Rakahn has always resided. So you begin to make your way towards the throne room, following a very familiar path. You walk up through the city streets and into the central markets where this early in the morning, the merchants are still setting up. War or not, society has to move on somehow. You see everyone unpacking, wagons driving around all around you, and you begin to make your way into the castle towards the throne room. And as you make your way towards the big double doors that protect the rest of the city from the throne room, you see 2 guards standing outside of the door.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I have an audience.
Are you expected?
Yes.
Roll deception.
14.
Yeah, right, son. I don't believe you. You're gonna have to wait, and you're gonna have to make yourself an appointment.
Oh my goodness. I waited 3 hours last night to talk to my commanding officer who wouldn't even listen to me after he got out of his meeting with the council. And this is important to the war effort. What I have to tell them maybe will change the fate of the world as we know it. You want me to make a meeting? I'm tired of this.
You see as now both guards step towards you, pointing their spears straight towards you. I said you're gonna have to leave. Well, you could strength check it to get past them.
Fight my own guards? Okay, I guess, why not?
Alright, roll for strength.
18.
And that succeeds. As you push your way through both guards and barge straight into the throne room, you see all 4 of the council members standing there around a large round table looking at a massive map. And this is the map that you see. This is a map of the current state of the war here in Rakahn. As you have just taken back Northport City, the reach of the Dragonborns has returned to their northern hemisphere, as you now hold all 4 major cities on the northern side. There's no more battling in the eastern trenches. The only front of the war left is down by Central City in the southern front. And you see as all 4 of these men discuss what their next move should be. But one of them, Clorgen, recognizing that somebody has just bursted into the room when they were not expecting to have anyone entering the room, has just walked through and opened the doors. And he whispers to the other members of the council as they all turn towards you. Well, hello there. I'm vaguely familiar with you. You are Melthezicus, are you not?
That's me. And you're going to want to listen to what I have to say. As a soldier, fighting on that very map you continue to just look at and talk about, I have a report in, what was it, yesterday? I don't know how long ago that was.
Yeah, it was yesterday, just a day ago.
Yesterday's war effort, me and my men took back the city, and we encountered a tent with a bugbear and 2 hobgoblin leaders, or a leader and his sidekick, if you will. I was going to have my men take them in as prisoners of war, but the bugbear was so appalled by this idea that he killed the hobgoblins, the very people he was partnered with, right in front of our faces, snapped their necks, crushed their skulls right in front of us, frightening me and my men. The other person in the room fled as I had my men run after them, and as was I stabilizing one of my own men? I think that's what it was.
No, after killing the bugbear, you had sent 2 of your men, a knight and a ranger, towards the path of where the hooded man ran, and you went to investigate the rest of the room. Your other man wasn't injured, but you went to investigate the rest of the room, seeing their war map and seeing the dead body of that bugbear. And then once you made it past that, and you chased after your men and the hooded man, they were both lying there dead in the port.
Yeah, what he said, what that voice that you hear from the castle walls. And their bodies, they were like nothing I've ever seen before. Necromancy, it was clear to me, but at a level I doubt even 4 of you have seen with your great minds put together. This was no dragonborn. This was no bugbear. I dare even say it could have been someone from the deep timberland, or maybe not even from this land. It was strong magic, and the sorcerer knew my name as he got away by boat. I'm not sure which direction. It was dark, it was late. We just fought viciously, and my men were tired. I withdrew, but I needed you to know there is something foul afoot. This sorcerer, we need information. We need a scouting party. We need something on him, or this war is already lost for both us and the bugbears.
You see, as they turn to each other and begin talking to each other, I would like for you to roll perception for me. You see, as you can hear whispers of them saying, "He's not the only one with reports like this. I've heard from Droldetten that there's a man with a similar description and powers nobody has seen in this land before." And you hear Thuston, one of the other council members, say, "I agree with the lad. We need to send some sort of investigation party out there." They all turn back to you and say, and Clorgen, the seeming leader of this war council, says to you, "While we agree that we need to send some sort of party to investigate these rumors, I cannot allow you more than a couple men. One of them shall be our greatest informant, a archmage by the name of Droldetten Nesbroth. He is a strong archmage, and he will be able to aid you in your investigation. He mostly works out of Central City. He knows the ins and outs of Central City, which is, although part of our territory, one of the main hubs for transportation and goods. We can afford you 1 more man of your choice if you wish to continue this endeavor."
Very well.
And you say to them that you'll bring your old friend, a former royal guardsman, the man who was there that day with you in the city center, who was fighting against the assassin that had killed your king. His name, Urthil Zradarim, a friend who, since retiring, has also become a necromancer who you think would also be able to be helpful, since he's quite versed in necromancy, and the man you're searching is a necromancer. And as you suggest this to the council, they look towards you and say, "Alright, as far as we're aware, Urthil is not currently disposed of, so you may go get him." And they dismiss you from the room, and you go to search out Urthil. Arriving at what you believe to be Urthil's former house, you hesitate upon knocking at the door. You haven't talked to this man since you retired from the Royal Guardsmen. You've no idea, outside of the fact that he's turned to necromancy now, who he is, what he's been doing, or how he is. But you decide to knock at his door anyways. After the second knock, he opens the door, slowly, and says, "Hello, friend. It's been quite a while."
So you remember me?
"That I do, Melthezicus."
You know why I'm here?
"I do not, though I have a feeling that you wouldn't be here for just friendly chat."
Oh, but I would like a cup of tea. If you'd be so kind to let me in.
"Come on in." And he lets you in, and he goes to his kitchen to prepare a cup of tea for you. As you step in and you realize that this house has not changed. This is the same brick and mortar basic house that you've seen throughout the entirety of the castle you're on. It is just 3 rooms. a bedroom, a kitchen, and a living room. As he comes back with the tea and sits down at the couch across from you, he begins to say something, but he hesitates. He thinks better of it, and he says, "Well then, out with it, Melthezicus. What do you want?"
Basically, I want you to join my party to help me find the super strong necromancer. Because you're a necromancer yourself, and I have another guy in my party who's going to help us, who's an archmage, and we got to travel really far and find this guy.
I'm gonna have to slow that down a little bit. And you repeat what you said, but slower, and he looks, and he contemplates. Did I ever tell you why I turned to necromancy? Upon finding our king dead, the original reason I turned to necromancy was because I wanted to find a way to revive him somehow. I thought the power of necromancy, strong as it was, could bring someone back from the dead. Not temporarily, of course. We have raise undead as a skill that allows us to bring skeletons back to life, or ghouls back to life, but only temporarily. Throughout the past 3 years, I've been searching and searching. I still haven't found a way to bring someone back permanently. And the reason I haven't reached out to you in all these years is because I knew about your family, and I thought, what's the point in talking to you if I don't have a way to bring them back either?
Very deep thing to say, but we can either get caught in the past or learn from it and move forward. I think the king was a wise king. We loved serving him together, and it's unfortunate what happened, but I think there's far more for this city and its future that we must focus on, which at this time means the war effort to ensure that we can instill a king just as good or even better for the lands.
He takes a sip of his tea and says, I agree, but I would like to remind you I am retired. But for an old friend, I'll come out of retirement. And upon agreement to join your band of travelers to investigate where this man could be, you begin to head towards Central City. You head towards the gate of Castle Euron, and you see a man to your right at the gate. He looks at you and says, I believe you're Melthezicus, correct?
Getting quite popular these days.
That you are, my friend. My name is Drodettin Nesbroth, and I believe that I'm the third man in this party of ours.
Would seem so.
Alright then, let's head out of this city. And the three of you begin the long and tiring trek to Central City. By the time you reach the outer gates of Central City, it's nighttime. You guys need to rest. However, you, on the other hand, don't feel as exhausted as the other two. Your options here are to go in without camping out for a night before entering, or you just enter.
Wait, where are we?
You're outside of Central City, outside the gates.
I'd say we just wait for everybody to be full capacity, full brain power.
And you all set up camp for the night and sleep outside the city. For you, it's another uneventful but restless night. You feel not energized but not tired as you awaken the next morning. And you go straight to the tents of your companions and you say,
Wakey wakey, eggs and bakey.
And you see as Earthil walks out and says, nice to see you haven't changed a bit.
Can't stop, won't stop.
He turns back in, wakes up Drodettin, and all three of you walk into Central City. The gate that the three of you arrive in is in the northwest corner of Central City, in a place called the Oriental Corner, an area of Central City marked for its distinct Eastern culture, between the multiple houses with Buddha statues in front of it and the old Chinese-style markets littering the place. This is, while a well-maintained space, a shady spot of town. As Drodettin makes the first step in and says, Alright, you're gonna have to let me do the talking here. I know this corner of town and it's shady. We could wander the markets for days, but I know a man who runs a, let's say, a shady secondary market here. Up front, he sells vegetables and fish and other goods that you'd find at your common grocery store. However, under the table, he is, let's just say, he works with human trafficking. If anyone would know people going in and out of the city, it would be this man.
Yeah, sure, you do the talking. Go ahead. I don't want to talk to a human trafficker.
He leads all three of you into what looks like a very simple stall, nothing more than just a small green tarp covering with wooden posts. But you see, as he said, vegetables, fruits, fish, and other meats and poultry just sitting on little shelves out front of the stall. And you see a man standing to the side. Welcome, welcome, friends. How you doing?
Hello.
And then he turns and says, what's going on, Roldetten? Come here for some more specialty goods? Not today, mate. I'm here for information. We're here looking for a man. This man has magic that nobody in the land has seen, and we need your help trying to find him. The merchant in front of you, dressed in very fancy clothes, starts darting his eyes around, looking for something. Roll insight.
Unnatural 20.
Okay. On an unnatural 20, you see, and you turn your head slightly to look around and see that he is not just darting his eyes around randomly, he is looking directly towards 3 people. And these people, one of them smoking, the other one tossing a knife in his hand, and the other one just sitting there, drinking a cup of coffee. They all look back at the merchant with knowing looks in their eyes, and you have a feeling something bad's gonna happen. But you ignore that feeling, as, like Roldetten said, you're gonna let him take the lead on this one. Alright, let's head out back to the storehouse so we can have some privacy, yeah? And Roldetten looks to the 2 of you, nods, and says, alright, mate, let's go. And as you all walk in, you, Rob, because you had an unnatural 20 on your insight roll, you notice the 3 men that the merchant was looking at are now following you.
They're right behind us, aren't they? We've got company.
You see as the merchant leads you towards the back of the storehouse and says, alright, now that we got some privacy here. Who sent you, fuckers? Did Thenson send you? Did I fuck up again? Roldetten looks to the both of you and says, what are you talking about, mate? I would like you to roll deception, because you, having seen this man start getting fidgety and a little panicked, and you know that men have followed you, this might be a bit of trouble.
Hey.
You unsteadily place your hand on your blade and prepare for a fight. And he says, yeah, right, I'm supposed to believe that? While your men back there are getting ready to fight? Hell no! And you see as the other 3 bandits are now surrounding you. And I would like for you to roll for initiative. Let's begin combat. And you see as the Oriental merchant with the first turn readies his scimitar and walks up to Roldetten and rolls to hit him. That would be a 22 to hit. That will hit Roldetten. That is, oh lord, that is 9 points of damage to Roldetten on the first swing, as he slashes at Roldetten, enraged by the fact that he believes that you guys are informants, or more specifically, attackers, sent by someone named Thenson, who you don't know. But he slices at Roldetten and does 9 damage, as he rolls to slash again, and a 13 will hit. As he slices again, having slashed once, is now readying his blade to slash a second time, and he hits for another 6 points of damage. Roldetten, having taken both of these slices to the chest, oi, mate, I told you, we're not here to hurt you. But the merchant doesn't seem to care much, and the turn rolls over to Roldetten, as Roldetten, now readying his magic, he will attempt to use Mage Armor to protect himself, as he will cast Mage Armor on himself to turn his AC from a 12 all the way up to a 26. And that will be his turn, as it goes over to Earthil. Earthil, having now seen that you guys are surrounded, he also begins readying his own magic. He will use a 4th level spell, Ice Storm. As he prepares to use one of his spell slots, he attempts to use Ice Storm on the 2 bandits behind him, and he misses, using up one of his spell slots. And I believe the turn goes to the bandits behind. So this bandit will begin to walk up to Earthil using some of his movement and begin to attack with his scimitar. That will be 10 to hit, and that will not hit. And as the bandit steps up behind Earthil and begins to slice at him with his scimitar, Earthil, seeing this coming, sidesteps a little bit and dodges the attack completely. It will go now to Bandit B, who will, I believe he's got enough movement for this, yeah. Bandit B, who will step away over here and attempt to hit you with his crossbow. And that will be a 13 to hit. Will that hit?
No.
Okay. And as he attempts to shoot at you with his crossbow, he readies the bolt, aims with his crossbow, he fires, and just misses you. You just stand there and he completely misses. As now it will be Bandit C, and much in the same way, he will walk up to the other side of you and attempt to shoot at you. That is a crit fail to attack. So as he readies this arrow, he attempts to shoot, but not only are you able to completely knock it back and knock it back towards him, it hits him, dealing 3 points of damage. And now it will be your turn.
Okay. What is in this container next to me? Is that squid? Are these squid?
Yeah.
Are they alive?
They are all dead. This is all seafood and produce that is ready to be sold.
Okay. Can I attempt to vault over this down to here on this side?
Sure. Roll athletics.
24.
Yeah, I'll say it was a DC 12. Go for it. You dive over.
I rolled a 24.
Easily. Oh, and the other one?
It's just showing you 13 because it always shows the lower one, but I have advantage on athletics. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Then yeah, a 24 definitely succeeds.
Okay, and then I will pull my spear out and just attempt to hit this guy. 13.
I do believe that hits. Yes, you get Savage Attacker, so you can roll twice. Although that I think that's not max damage. It's 1d10, right?
I'm gonna keep that. It's a d8. Then I rolled a 6, so I'm just gonna keep that.
Okay. Cool.
And then I'll Savage Attacker on the next.
The first hit will do 8 damage. You stab this man in the chest with your first attack, and it deals a significant portion of his HP.
I'll pull the spear back out and hit with 17 again. 7.
As you deal another 7 points of damage with a second stab straight to this man's throat, you see as he grasps at his throat, and he is very wounded.
We don't have to do this.
And you see as it rolls back over to the merchant, having seen you do this and attack one of his men, and having heard you say, "We don't have to do this," he says, "You fucks invaded my space and did this first."
Sure.
As he will ready one of his daggers and, in retaliation, attempt to throw a dagger at you. That is a nat 20.
Yikes.
It is a dagger, so you should be fine. But that he takes out one of the daggers from his belt, turns towards you, and chucks it with surgeon-like precision, hitting you straight into the chest with one of the daggers. As that will do. That is, oh my god, is that going to be max damage? That is max damage. 7 times 2, 14 points of damage to you. As this will roll back over to Droll-Detton, as Droll-Detton is now significantly pissed off. You have been significantly hurt. Earthil in the back is now flanked. Well, not flanked in combat purposes, but he's been flanked by one of the bandits, and he will look towards the merchant in front of him and attempt to cast Cone of Cold. That does hit. That is 18 plus 9. That is 27, and that will succeed his DC as he uses Cone of Cold. Each creature in a 60-foot cone must make a Constitution saving throw. So that's con. Good.
I think we're all... Oh, it's a cone
D8s.
Towards...
Yeah, towards
the right side?
Towards the merchant, yes. And he looks and he uses... Con is a +2 on a saving throw, so I'll roll for the merchant first. That is a crit fail. So that will deal double damage to him. And the bandit... That is a second crit fail. They will both just die. Oh, actually, no. The merchant may not. I need to roll the 8d8, but I will do that just on D&D
8d8 is crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of nuts. That is 29 damage. Doubled, that would be 58, right? Yeah, 58
29?
Points of damage to the Oriental merchant. And this bandit in front of you will die. However, he will also freeze. So he is completely
Okay.
frozen for, I believe it said an hour. So basically, he is frozen for the rest of this combat. So you cannot loot him. You cannot do anything with him. And he is now technically an obstacle. So if you wanted to move back this way towards the Oriental Merchant, you'd have to jump over this, or you'd have to go back this way. That's the only ways for you to move that way. All right. And the Oriental Merchant takes this massive amount of magic energy straight to his face, and he is nearly dead. As it will go back to Earthil, and Earthil, much in the same way, will now begin to attack with... we'll use Bestow Curse. He will attempt to bestow a curse to this bandit in front of him. Wisdom save, which is a DC 14, and he has nothing in that. That is a 5, and he will not. So he will now be cursed, and I will say that he is disadvantage in dexterity. So just keep in mind that this Oriental Bandit A is now disadvantage on dexterity, checks and saving throws and whatnot. Now it will be this bandit's turn, and he will need to roll above 14 to even be able to attack this turn. And he does. That's 17, but he has a disadvantage to attack. He will just attempt to slice a scimitar, and that will not hit. That's a 5. And so he just wastes his turn, and it's on to Bandit B, who is dead. So now on to C. C, now seeing that his bandit friend is in dire need of help, and the merchant, the man who drug him into this situation, is also in severe pain, he will attempt to escape this fight. Using all points of his movement, I will have him roll, actually, to flee this time, because there's so many of you guys and this is such a small room. He has to succeed a 12 to escape here. That is a 10, and I'll say, since it's escape, that'll be Dex 11. He does not escape, so that just wastes his turn. And now it'll be on to you.
I will go up to this guy.
Okay. And you'll get advantage.
Roll it again just to see. Okay.
Just to see if you get the crit or the... Nope. Okay.
That was
17
1.
does hit.
Alright. 8 points of piercing. I'll take that.
8 points of damage on the first attack.
22.
That will hit. Definitely hit.
Well, I rolled a 1 twice, so 5.
Sick.
5 extra
so
damage.
5 extra points of damage. And you see as this bandit staggers back, he's cursed. And he is also incredibly hurt as he is below half HP now. And this will go back to the merchant now, having seen that the man in front of him is a very powerful archmage. He will look towards the rest of his men, one of them frozen, the other one attempting to escape, and the other one trapped between you and Earthil. He will set down his blade, put up his hands, and say, "Alright friends, hold on. I feel like I escalated the situation a little bit too quickly." Would you like to continue combat, or would you like to hear him?
No, let's talk, bro. We've been trying to talk.
Alright.
This guy just wanted to fight.
End combat, and he will gather together the other 2 bandits with him. Alright, boys, what do you want to know?
Go ahead, roll Denton.
We just want to know if you've heard of a hooded man running around Rakahn with a powerful necromancies. And he looks between all of you and says, Isn't that him right behind you? And he points to Earthil, and Earthil takes off his hood and says, "No, mate, not me. We're looking for a non-dragonborn." And the merchant turns back and says, "Well, I don't know particularly if there's been anybody else with necromancy around here, but I have seen a hooded man visiting with my boss, Mafia boss Thensid, over in the Market of the Pantheon."
Alright, cool. Thank you very much for your time. And I'll be taking one of these. I'm gonna take the squid.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
take one of these squids and put it into my bag.
And the 3 of you make your way back out into Central City and begin to walk from the Oriental corner. You guys make your way from this building and begin heading your way towards the Pantheon, where I'd like you to roll history for me. Please, for the love of God, actually roll decent on history.
5.
Fuck's sake. I'll say you've got 2 guys with you. Roll that with advantage because they also... Well, actually, yeah, roll it with advantage.
0.
What the actual fuck?
1 minus 1 is 0.
You
Well, how
walk
about
towards
the
this
0
place
both times?
with 0 clue what this specific corner of the central city is. Would you like to turn to somebody and ask for that information?
Hey. Draw that in. Hey. What is this
Lore rolls are
place?
still so bad, bro. What is it with you? You might want to pick out physical dice from now on. Stop using D&D Beyond, bro.
I have physical dice. They're sitting right over here. I can
D&D
use them.
Beyond, for God's sake. You see as Roldet looks over you and says, "This here is a place where people who believe in the pantheon of the gods have taken up residence, and let's just say they're a little bit of a fanatic. Once again,
Good
let
to
me
know.
do the talking. And they ask you whether or not you believe in the pantheon of the gods. Just say yes."
Yes. Very well. Onwards and forwards.
And as you guys make your way in and towards the market, immediately, a fairly large man who looks like a bodyguard of sorts asks you, "Do you believe in the pantheon of the gods?"
Yes.
He looks at all 3 of you and recognizes Joldetten and asks, "Are you here to see the boss?" Joldetten replies, "Yes, I am." And he leads you all into an office where you see a bunch of shelves and a chest with someone sitting in a lavish chair, to say the least, sipping tea. You assume this to be Thensed, the mafia boss that the merchant earlier told you about. "Thensed,
Okay.
how you been?" Thensed looks towards you and says, "I've been alright. What are you doing back in this part of town, Joldetten?" "We're here for information. We know that you partially deal in the inner workings of this city, specifically in human trafficking. I assume you'd know where we could find someone, if we needed to find someone." "I do, for the right price." Joldetten looks around at you saying, and whispers to you guys, "I don't have any money. Do you all have something that we could use to pay for this information?"
I got a little something something. Is he gonna extort the hell out of us, or what is this right price nonsense?
And you see as Thensed looks towards you and says, "I can still hear you, and I'm not a he."
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
As she says, "Well, for the low price of about 500 gold, I can give you whatever information you please. However, if you all can't pay, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave this here office. Roldet, you know you're not in great favors with the Mafia right now. I don't know why you willingly stepped in here."
Wait, hold on.
Roll insight for me.
Okay, 19.
You see is Droldetton, having heard Thensed say that, Droldetton's not exactly welcome here in the Mafia right now. You see is he's very fidgety. You didn't notice this before, but he looks like he wants to get out of here. He took the lead because he knows he could have led you straight where you needed to go, but he is not welcome here.
Look, I myself, I've got 200 gold, and I'm sure if there was some odd job or request you needed taken care of in the city, I could help you with that as well. We came far distance to get this information, and we don't want to leave with nothing, but we understand. You run a tight ship around here. You got things you want to get done, so if there's something we can help you with, let it be known. Leave Droldetton out of this. We'll handle it.
I can leave Droldetton out of this as long as he leaves this town and never returns. However,
That was on you, bro.
that 200 gold still won't be enough, regardless of if I use your services. And you see as the Mafia bodyguard begins to walk slowly towards you.
Well, once again, we tried. I'm gonna pull out my short bow and
Oh
aim it
my
at it.
God.
You want some of this? You want some of this? I'll do that. Shoot him.
The bodyguard or Thensed?
Yes, the bodyguard.
Okay, roll to hit the bodyguard.
That 20.
That's crazy. And you see as you stare at this bodyguard and release your arrow straight into his face, I would like you to roll damage here. We will say since it's a crit, it will deal double damage. Use Savage Attacker. I will say that you can use it since we're not technically in combat. It won't count as like an action or a turn. You can just use it.
So
10
10
points of
then.
damage to the bodyguard. And you see as the bodyguard, having an arrow stuck in his forehead, stumbles backwards slightly, but breaks it off and tosses it to the side. And I would like you to roll for initiative once more. All right, and let's do this as you go first, Melthezicus.
All right, how far is this? I'm gonna roll to hit the bodyguard again.
All right, go for it.
19. I rolled a 15 plus 4 to hit.
That will hit.
5 piercing damage. And I'm gonna just roll with my secondary action to attack him again.
Go for it.
15.
That does not hit. And you shoot him with your first arrow, hitting him in the stomach, but he breaks it off and tosses it to the side once more. And you shoot once more a third arrow as he grabs it before it hits in front of him, and he breaks it in his bare hands and tosses it to the side.
Yeah.
As now it is Thensid's turn, as she will prepare her pistol that's been on the desk just sitting there the whole time, and she will pick it up and aim to hit Droldetten. And she will ready her pistol looking at Droldetten, not knowing that he has mage armor, having not seen him cast the spell, obviously. Even though it has some sort of visual component, he's able to hide the visual component, being well versed as an archmage. And she will attempt to hit. That is a 9, so that will not hit, as she watches her bullet ricochet off in front of Droldetten and fly to the side. So you came prepared, didn't you? Interesting. And that will be her turn. And it will go to Droldetten as he now steps over to his right, attempting to go after Thensid. And he will use Lightning Bolt. That is a 2. He will not succeed, so that will just use his spell slot. And he will just end his turn. And it will go to the bodyguard, who, now having seen you take initiative and shoot him multiple times, will now walk up towards you. I believe he can reach you. Yeah, he will walk up directly in front of you, completely disregarding Earthil to the left of you, and he will attempt to grab you. That is a 22, or 21, sorry, to hit, and that hits, I assume, right? 8 points of damage to you. However, you also must roll a dex saving throw of a DC 12 to avoid being grappled.
Hold on.
That does...
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, right, dex, you get advantage, right?
I'm gonna use
Second Wind, the other ability. I'm gonna expend a use of Second Wind to add a D10 to that roll.
Okay, go for
See
it.
to see if I save it.
Roll the D10 physically, please. I'm begging you.
So 1. So
An
I
8
don't-
will not succeed. You are now grappled.
Oh my gosh.
If an enemy is grappled, this character gains advantage on attack rolls against the grappled enemy.
Okay.
And now it will go over to Earthil, who will, stepping to the side slightly, begin to use Chill Touch. That does 7 points of necrotic damage to the bodyguard here. And it will go back to you, Melton.
Do I have disadvantage on my rolls?
Nope, he just
Instant?
has advantage on attacking you. However, at the beginning of your turn, you must roll a dex save DC 12 again to see whether or not you can escape. If not, I believe you just skip your turn because you are grabbed.
16.
Okay, that saves and you are no longer grappled.
I'm gonna put the short bow away and pull the spear out. Okay. I will just roll to hit this. Is he flanked?
Yeah, I'll count that as flanked.
Okay. I need the advantage. Also, I should be rolling.
14.
That will not hit. Wait, a 14 will not hit. And as you attempt to stab him with your spear, he brushes it off to the side with his right fist, and you just miss.
Okay.
I will now go
I'll
over to
attack
Thensid,
again.
who...
Do I
Now-
get to attack again?
Oh, yeah, you can.
that was my first roll. Sorry.
Go for it. I forgot.
Does a 17 hit?
Yes.
5 piercing damage with the second.
Okay, and that is another 5 damage to the bodyguard here. And now it will be Thensid's turn once again, seeing that Droldetten has, used some sort of magic to protect himself. Thensid will now attempt to move away and towards Earthil, which this should be all of her movement going this way. And she will ready her pistol once more to attack Earthil. That is a crit fail. She reloads her pistol using one of her primary actions and attempts to shoot Earthil again. She put way too much gunpowder in, and not only will that explode and deal 5 points of damage to her, she also no longer has a pistol.
Nice.
And that will go over to Droldetten's turn. Now, seeing this, is going to move over here and apologize to Earthil, saying, "I'm sorry, Earthil. I need to get this done." And he will, using Cone of Cold once more. Unnatural 20. So That will succeed, and he will use Cone of Cold once more. Actually, no, we'll use his 6th level spell slot for this, and that will add an extra 1d8 to his attack. So instead of it being 8d8, that is now 9d8 of damage. I will roll this on here again. That would be 44 points of damage. However, there is a Constitution save, which they have to beat a 17 on Con. If Earthil gets a nat 20, I will say this doesn't hit him at all.
Bruh.
No, Earthil, you're chill.
Oh.
Thensid rolls, that's a 5. That will hit her for full damage. And the bodyguard rolls a 6. That will hit them for both for full damage. So that is 44 damage to the bodyguard. And the bodyguard will freeze in front of you. Dead.
W.
Thensid, however, will not freeze and will just be heavily damaged. And it will go over to Earthil's turn. Earthil, having been well versed in the ways of magic and necromancy now, easily dodges the Cone of Cold from Joldetten, and instead, now seeing that the bodyguard is dead, will move towards Thensid to attempt to kill her. And we'll use Inflict Wounds. So let me make sure he saves that. And that is a unnatural 20. Good lord, he's rolling 21 points of necrotic damage to Thensid here. And
how's Thensid looking?
She is on her last legs. She is very close to death.
Okay.
And it will be your turn.
Okay. Well, since this bodyguard is frozen, can I fit past him over here? Can I move here?
Yes, you can. And she's flanked.
Roll my d20.
Oh, brother.
How about a 19?
A 19 hits.
Okay, I'm using Savage Attacker on this roll because that's awful.
You don't need
There we
to,
go.
because that will kill her. How do you want to kill her?
1 HP? Or
2
5, I
HP,
guess it is.
actually.
Okay. That's crazy. Yes. Say. Man, why everybody gotta fight us? And then I'm just gonna gonna stab her through the stomach.
Fair enough. And you stab her through the stomach and pick her up with your staff, or your spear slightly, and pull it out and let her fall to the ground, and she will be dead. You guys have an entire room to search.
Can I search her body?
Yeah, you can search her body. On it, you find 100 gold and 5 bullets.
Yeah, I'll go search the desk.
Alright.
Okay.
Upon searching through that, you find a letter. A letter that was halfway written, but not complete. A letter that was supposed to be sent to a place by the name of the Church of Helm, which is, if you remember in the map, the northeast church, asking why nobody has reported back to Thensid in over a week.
Mm-hmm.
You figure that's probably where you need to investigate next.
Is there anything is this a chest?
Yes, it is.
What's in the chest? I mean, make sure it's not gonna explode on me. Hold on.
Investigation check. You find nothing.
Oh my gosh. In the chest?
You find nothing trapped in the chest. So
Okay.
it is not a trap chest. You're fine.
Let me open that chest up.
Inside of it, you find a spear +3, a 9 live stealer musket,
Oh my gosh.
and 20 bullets. And as you're done looting the chest, Joldetten asks, "So, mate, did you find anything?"
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull out this mask and be like, check this thing out, dude.
He rolls his eyes. "Did you find anything about the man?"
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna reach in my jacket and hand him this letter. This is all I got.
And he reads over the letter and says, "Well, this isn't specifically about the man, however, the Church of Helm is their main operation for human trafficking. I'm confused. How could they just stop responding?" And Earthil looks over and says, "Well, I believe that we should probably go investigate that, yes?"
Yeah, let's do it.
And the three of you leave back out into Central City, leaving the Pantheon and heading towards the Church of Helm. I would like you to roll another history check with advantage.
Let's use my dice.
Use the actual dice.
My history. That's a 15.
And you remember
15.
as Helm is the name of a god, part of the Faerunian pantheon of the gods. He is mostly worshipped by paladins and guardians. However, strangely, you remember this god being seen as cold and not a very good role model, to say the least. However, his acts during one of the old ancient wars changed the way that the people viewed him. They viewed him less as cold and more as calculated and calm, as all of his followers tend to be more analytical types than anything. And you walk into the Church of Helm, and you see nothing. Nobody. No priests of the religion walking around. No people in the church. There's nothing. This place is dead empty. I believe you can roll a d20 here. You can roll for either a religion DC 12, an arcana DC 12, or an insight DC 15. So just roll a d20. Please don't say that.
5.
I hate this. So, both of your companions having succeeded the DC, and noticing that you are looking around in the room lost, Droldetton first says to you, "Don't you feel it, mine? The heavy air in the room." As he points towards the altar and says, "That altar has a secret switch. You can open it and it'll lead you to a large passage that they normally operate out of, but not seeing anyone in here is strange." And as he says this to you, you slowly begin recognizing the shift in the mood of this place as you feel that same heavy air you did when you were back at the port with the man.
Oh no.
As you begin to walk towards the altar, Droldetton goes ahead of you and says, "I know how to open this thing. Just give me a second." And he goes off to one of the back rooms. You hear a switch flick, and all of a sudden, he comes back. And Droldetton pushes the altar out of the way to reveal a large staircase underneath.
Okay, we'll go down it, but I'm gonna take the ready action with my 9 Life Stealer musket. So I'll just have my musket out and like finger on the side of the trigger ready as we're walking down.
Okay, cool. And as you all walk down, you see this. A large cavern and rushing water everywhere, and cages lined all along the walls on the other sides of this massive pool. And in the center, you see what looks like a sacrificial table. Not only were they doing human trafficking here, there must have been some sort of human sacrifice component to this as well. As you, Earthil, and Droldetton walk into the room, I would like for you to roll a wisdom saving throw really quick.
16.
You succeed, but you feel some sort of cold air rush along your back as if somebody had just tried casting a curse on you. You know not what it would have done, but something's wrong here. And as you all continue to the other side, you arrive in the center next to the altar and hear a noise from behind you on the bridge you just crossed. And you see a ghost slowly floating towards you.
Okay, is it continuing to move towards us?
Yes.
Okay, if it like gets off the bridge up to where we are, I'm gonna shoot it. Like if it gets off the bridge and in front of us. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be aiming my rifle at it for now.
Mm-hmm.
My musket.
And you see as you turn around to aim at this ghost, Earthil notices as well and turns and begins speaking some words in another language that you don't understand. However, the ghost does nothing, and he turns to you and says, "Man, I just tried using spells on that thing and it's not responding at all. This is not a normal undead ghost." And as it reaches the end of the bridge, I would like for you to aim at it and shoot. Roll to hit.
Okay, 15.
I believe that hits. Roll for damage. Okay, so 11.
It was 9. Yeah, so it's 11 damage.
5 damage.
Okay, and then...
As you see this ghost stop, as you hear other ghosts around you, and you turn to each quarter of this cavern and see 2 other ghosts have now just appeared. And I would like for you to roll for initiative once more. And you see as Droldetton now turning after hearing you shoot your gun and notices that ghost, and now turns to the other corner of the room and notices the other 2 ghosts, says to the both of you, "We need to leave now."
Lead the way.
And you see as he says this, he turns towards the ghost that's right in front of you and begins to use Misty Step. and he teleports straight past this ghost and onto the bridge behind it. And he will continue to use the rest of his movement to run. And you see as he runs away, you know that this man is an archmage. He is no stranger to magic, but if he's scared of this ghost, there has to be a reason. He must know something that you don't.
Yeah.
Will you continue to fight or attempt to leave?
I mean, I can attempt to leave. I have to take an opportunity.
It's your turn. The ghost, now seeing that you can actually harm it, turns over towards Earthil and heads towards Earthil instead. And the ghost will use, possession. So Earthil will now roll for a charisma saving throw. That succeeds. And as you see this ghost attempt to go and possess Earthil's body, he seemingly uses his mage hand and pushes the ghost backwards slightly, and the ghost is unsuccessful in attempting to possess Earthil. And it will now be your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use my first action to disengage, which means I won't take an opportunity attack here.
Okay.
And as another action, I'm going to use dash to increase to 60 movement. So I'm going to dash.
You should be able to get right to, roll that. And you see, as you do this and end your turn, the other two ghosts in the room begin to make their way towards Earthil. And now, Earthil, much in the same way, will also use Misty Step, and he will use Misty Step as well to teleport to the other side of the bridge as well, and use another one of his primary actions to also dash and get even further out of there than you two. Actually, I believe that 60 feet might be completely out of this, and he is now completely out of combat. And it will go back to Droldetten's turn, as he will, much in the same, also run away and leave combat. And it will be Ghost A's turn once more, seeing you, and it will move 40 feet right next to you. I'm gonna need you to roll for charisma save. He will attempt to possess you.
Oh, nice. 18, 19.
That succeeds. And you, much in the same way, just run away from the ghost, and it will be your turn. Are you just going to try and leave?
Yeah.
Alright, and that will be all three of you out of combat. The two of you, you and Earthil, having run by each other's side, trust each other enough to just run away and know that the other is running. However, Droldetten is slightly slower behind you, having to look, make sure that nobody's following and that you guys are also running. And he, by the time he gets up to the top of the stairs, you also reach the top of the stairs with him, and he will go back into the back room and flip a switch. Again, you hear stone scraping against stone as you see a fake wall slide across the bottom of the floor where the staircase once was, covering the altar and the passage below it. And he comes back out and swiftly pushes the altar back over and says, "I don't know what the hell that was, but we have to get out of here."
Where do we go?
He says to you, "As soon as we stepped into the church, I casted Detect Magic, and by the time we got down there, it was so strong that I had a hard time focusing on my own spells. I could not recognize a single bit of magic in that room, but it was incredibly powerful."
Doesn't that mean the necromancer is close? Why do we leave now?
Clearly I can hurt the ghosts. Maybe I stall in them and you guys go along.
He contemplates this for a second. I would like you to roll persuasion against him.
17.
He rolls a 3.
Look, we might not be able to beat those ghosts, but I can at least either give you some time, or we all just make a dash past them and try to go find the necromancer. Because if it's this strong magic, this strong presence I felt once before too, we're going to want all of us there to stop him, figure out who he is, any sort of information. This quest has the life of the war on the line. Can't just go back now. What else would you suggest? I'm open to options, but what would you have us do?
You see, as Droldetten looks at you, still quite frightened, but he will follow you. You are, after all, the technical leader of this group. As much as he's been leading you around the city, that's only been because of his knowledge of the city and its inner workings. You know much more about combat, and you know much more about this man that you're searching after. So whatever you say, he will believe.
Very well.
And Earthil, in the same fashion, also, he knows you. He knows that you wouldn't just say these things without any reason to. He knows that you are desperate, and he knows that you have finally found a purpose once more. And he being your friend, will follow you as well.
Okay. Is this room like all lit? Like we're just where this?
It is lit where the torches are. However, outside of that, it is very dark. However, it is still bright enough for you to see even without dark vision. So essentially, it's as if it's nighttime and you have like a little nightlight in your room, but you can still see everything around you.
Okay. Did you pause the game for a reason?
Yes, I was readjusting things. There you go.
Oh, all good.
What is your plan?
We try to stealth across, like not the bridge, but like once we get up here, or I guess if we notice the ghost looking. I don't know. I think we have to try to stealth. I don't know how many stealth rules you want us to make, but maybe like.
I will have you roll 1,
like
and
up
I will
here,
say
try to
their
get up
passive perception is an 11. You can roll 1 every single time you pass 1.
Okay.
So if you are going to the left or the right, you will only pass 2 of them. I will only have you roll stealth twice. And I will have the other 2 roll stealth as well. But I will say, if one of you fail any of the stealth checks, where you are in that current moment will be where the battle begins.
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. Good thing I still have some second wind here. Actually, it's only for checks. Okay, I'm just gonna roll this. What's my stealth? Okay, 18 on the first one. So I'm
and
going
as you
to
roll
say
that, you pass by the first ghost, but the second one, you must roll again. And much in the same way, Earthil and Droldetten are
Nat
watching
20.
you, and
Oh my
will
God.
watch your movements as you roll a nat 20. On a nat 20, you swiftly move past, and nothing notices you. And as you call out to the others, not only do you call out to them, they don't notice you at all. It's as if you're not there. And in order to distract them more, you grab a skull and you toss it into the water on the other side towards the other bridge. And they will all 3 move over there and be out of range of stealth checks. So Earthil follows you, and Droldetten also follows you, and you all are you all are in the back of this cavern in a small room. This room looks more like a storage area of sorts. There's crates, but they're all broken. It's as if somebody had pillaged through this area and left no remnants of what could have been. I'd like you to roll insight.
13.
On a 13, what I'll say you notice is that this is where the presence is strongest. Similar to those dead bodies that you found of your own men at the port, there's a strong feeling of death around you. And as you turn the corner around one of the destroyed boxes, you find 2 dead bodies there. This is where that presence is coming from. But not only do they look like they've been dead for longer than your men were, they look like they've been dead for months. There's nothing left but 2 skeletons.
Oh, he was here.
He had to have been.
Is there a door or an exit on the other side?
There's not. Whoever was here must have done this and left before you got here. As you remember the letter that Thensid wrote, saying that she hadn't heard anything from this very building for over a week.
Maybe this is the reason why she hasn't heard anything. This necromancer killed. This necromancer seems to have no sides. He's fighting for himself, killing as he pleases. Where should we go?
And as you say this, Droldetten and Earthil look at each other, and Droldetten nods, Earthil saying, "There's only one other place in this entire land where magic lives. I believe we must go to the woods."
Knew it was the woods. I had a hunch.
And all 3 of you retrace your tracks, escape
Get out of
from
here.
this hell of a room, and arrive at the edge of the forest. But it is nighttime. You guys took the entire day investigating Central City, and by the time you got out of Central City, the sun was already setting. It is midnight by the time you arrive here at the edge of the deep timberland. And I would like you to put an exhaustion point on your character. You need some sleep.
Well, are we not long resting out here before we go into the woods, or are we not about to set up camp? Why
All
not?
3 of you.
Why not?
You can try and
it's
convince them
night.
to. Use persuasion. Tell them.
Bruh. I'm tired. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. I'm done fighting.
That's too damn bad.
Fighting all day. This is 3 fights deep, and I'm exhausted. I need sleep, and I know you do too. I know you hide it better than I probably, but
Roll for
I
persuasion.
need sleep.
And I will roll persuasion against you on both of them.
16.
I will say that you convince them, and you all take a long rest in a tent outside of the deep timberland.
Yeah! And recover 1 level of exhaustion. Yes.
It is the next morning. You all have cleaned up your camp, and it is time to venture into the forest. As you do, I would like you to roll insight.
21.
On a 21, you look around this forest and you hear the quick fluttering of wings, pixies all around you, and you notice some of them are whispering, some of them are pointing and staring at you. You're in danger.
Anyways.
I would like you to roll a DC 15 wisdom saving throw with advantage.
19.
All 3 of you, notice as somebody has just casted a sleeping curse on all 3 of you. And the pixies around you, having seen that their spell failed, fly up to you with tiny little daggers pointed towards you, asking, "Why are you here?"
Somebody from your side has been meddling in our war, and we're here to find out who. I won't say it's a pixie. I won't say what kind of magical creature it is, but the magic is far stronger than any dragonborn or bugbear is capable of, as far as we know. And this is the only other place in the land they can come from. So who are you hiding? Why do you meddle in our war?
"We hide nothing. Our village chief knows of what you speak of, but this did not come from us." I would like you to roll perception. Or, no, let's say insight.
18.
On an 18, you notice that the pixie, frantic as she isn't lying to you. This wasn't them, but she also said that the village chief knows something about this.
Well, let's see the chief then. We've been on a long journey. 3 days, 2 days to get here. Lots of unnecessary death, and we would hate for there to be more.
The pixie in front of you says, "I agree. I know that you camped out, and I know what you've been doing. We here in the Feywild know all." And
Very well.
her and the other pixie that had flown up in front of you, as well as all the pixies flying around in the trees around you, lead you to this. Some unnamed town or village, it looks like, inside of the deep timberland here. And where she leads you is here, this massive tent in the corner. However, before she lets you in, she says, "Stay out here. Must fetch the chief," as she quickly and panically flutters into the little tent, and you look around you and you see not only are there pixies here, there's satyrs, there's dryads, there's herongons, there's every single kind of Feywild here. You've never been here before. You didn't know that there was all of this in the forest. All you know is that the forest has been forbidden for dragonborn, bugbear, and hobgoblin alike to enter for centuries. A few minutes later, the pixie comes out and says, "The village leader is ready to see you," and leads you into the tent. The village chief has never had a name. The pixie in front of you explains that they don't really have much purpose for names where they come from. They have just called him the village elder. But this large and fairly old-looking satyr in front of you says, "Welcome. I know each one of you by name. You must not introduce yourselves. And I also know why you are here. Melthezicus, Earthville, and you, Droltetin." And Droltetin looks and shuffles his feet a little bit. "Droltetin, we're well aware of your escapades around the land. We understand your role as an informant for the War Council. However, you must be more careful with what you do. We know that you, non-Feywild, don't abide by the laws of magic as we do, but your reckless use of your own powers may lead to your doom." And he looks over to Earthil. "Earthil, your cause is noble. However, your means of getting there have been questionable, to say the least. Reviving and killing animals just to see whether or not you can bring them back to life permanently is a grave, grave error, and also a grave mistake walking in here to the deep timberland. We will talk to you, but you must leave and never return. And then he looks to you finally. Melthezicus, we know why you're here. The man in the hood. And you see as he begins to pace around slightly, clump, clump, clump. He's a satyr. He has those goat hooves that you are well aware of. That man has caused us much trouble. We here in the Feywild see and know all. We are aware of everything going on, including this, he pauses, this nonsensical war that is happening here in the land of our ancestors. He looks down and says, this man, he is not from this land. He is neither dragonborn, nor bugbear, nor fairy, no pixie, no satyr, dryad, or Harengon. This is a man, a human man, one of much notoriety in the mainland. However, here he's known more as a murderer than he is a hero. We know not his name, we know only his past. We know his misdeeds. We know that he's kidnapped a child before, and that he used that child to wage war, and then cast him aside afterwards. We know, and he pauses once more and looks you straight in the eye. He was there that night. Your farmland. This man started the fire.
What does he want with me?
We know not what he wants with you specifically, but this man must have more knowledge than we do. Foresight, I guess you can call it, because every time we send a pixie out there to investigate what he's doing, the pixie never returns.
Where have you been sending them?
We've been sending them to his home base, as you know, the capital city of the bugbears and hobgoblins. These bugbears and hobgoblins have been peaceful for so long. However, he's the reason this war began. I will tell you no more, and I will have you all leave this place and never return. Especially you, Earthil, and especially you, Joltetin. But you, Melthezicus, we know the dreams you struggle with. The past few days, we knew that your path would eventually lead us here, so we've been attempting to block out your nightmares as well as possibly could.
Thank you.
You'll never be fully rid of them, but know this, even if you kill that man, you will never know peace. And that is where we will end the session.
That's fire, bro.